Good morning, one and all. Welcome to Shanvi e-learning services, and also welcoming you to biology session. Once again, good morning, one and all. So now we have in the world of microorganism part 2, as we have discussed in last class. Microorganisms are our friends. For friends or poise. Poise means enemy. I told you already. Useful, friendly microorganisms we have discussed in last class, and some activities also we have done. And the next, see here, activity 2, like Maida Duff we have done, like which comes under that anaerobic respiration, like fermentation. Okay, there one new word KNEAD, need. Okay, Duff work. And see here, we can observe Maida Duff A, Maida Duff B. So here the changes in between them. Okay, and next, during the process of fermentation, carbon dioxide will be released. The bubbles of the gas fill the duff. That's why it's increased in volume and make it spongy in nature. The B, cup B is added with yeast. That's why involved in the fermentation process, like one of the anaerobic respiration. So as you know already, like so volume increases because of that bubbles of the gas fill the duff, increase its volume and make it spongy in nature. See here, commercial use of microorganisms. So here, medicinal and commercial use is there. Okay, medicinal and commercial use is there here. So commercial use of the microorganisms. Take half of the water in 2 separate beakers. Let us recall once again this activity. Add 5 to 10 spoons of sugar to each beaker. Then add 2 to 3 spoons of yeast to one of the bowl only. Close both the bowls with lids and keep them in a warm place, because that particular warm temperature is suitable for that to involve perfectly. After 3 to 4 hours, remove the lids and smell the contents. What difference did you observe between the 2 bowls? So what will be the reason for the odor in each mixed bowl? As I told you in last class, odor, smell. Okay, this word you will get in higher studies also, in practical, right? So for this they will award 1 mark or half mark. By smelling that you have to observe the order, not order. It is a order. ODOUR, order, smell in each mixed bowl. This is a characteristic smell of alcohol. Sugars are converted into alcohol by yeast. So sugars are converted into alcohol by yeast. That's why here it is giving that order, alcoholic order. This process of conversion of sugars into alcohol is known as fermentation. Very, very important. What is fermentation? Sugars are converted into alcohols by yeast. Sugars are converted into alcohol by yeast. This process of conversion of sugars into alcohol is known as fermentation. Okay, conversion of sugars into alcohol is known as a fermentation. This process is used on a large scale in the production of alcohol. This process is used on a large scale in the production of alcohol. Which process is fermentation process? Fermentation process. Okay. Next, see here. Like commercially, fermentation process how helpful. Okay, see here, this process, fermentation process, is used on a large scale in the production of alcohols, not only alcohols but also wine, beer, and acetic acid. Okay, wine, beer, acetic acid. Okay, so and these are okay. To prepare that, we will use a fermentation process. Yeast is grown in natural sugars present in grains like barley or wheat and rice and crushed fruit juices like grapes. Okay, where yeast will grow? Yeast is grown in natural sugars. Okay, present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, and crushed fruit juices like grapes. Molasses produced in sugar industries is used in the preparation of ethyl alcohol C2H5OH by adding yeast for fermentation process. Molasses, molasses produced in sugar industry is used in the preparation of ethyl alcohol by adding yeast for fermentation process. Molasses produced in sugar industry that is used in the preparation of ethyl alcohol C2H5 which by adding yeast for fermentation process. Okay, next medicinal use of microorganisms. Okay, see children, sometimes when we fall ill, we'll get injured, right? Or need to undergo an operation. When we go for the operation, when we hospitalized, okay, doctors prescribe us some medicines, right? In prescription paper, on prescription paper, doctors prescribe some medicines that kill the microorganisms which causes diseases. Example, bacteria. Okay, so that type of medicines are called antibiotics. Antibiotics. Antibiotics are nothing but which kill the microorganisms and which causes the disease. Which causes the diseases. Such a okay. Which medicines are useful to kill the microorganisms that like microorganisms which are causing the diseases. So that type of medicines, such medicines are called as antibiotics. These antibiotics are produced by growing specific microorganisms like fungi, bacteria. Nowadays, a number of antibiotics like penicillin, tetracycline, streptomycin, and erythromycin. Okay, antibiotics. So for simple things, you should not use the antibiotics. Okay, when you needed, as per doctor prescription only, you have to use. Don't go and go for the use of antibiotics usually. Okay, next. A number of antibiotics nowadays we can see that like penicillin, hmm, tetracycline, streptomycin, and erythromycin are being produced. Antibiotics help in curing many bacterial disease. Okay, antibiotics cure the disease but not prevent the disease. Okay, antibiotics cure the disease. Vaccines can prevent the disease. Antibiotics help in curing many bacterial diseases like typhoid. So typhoid is one of the bacterial disease, as I told you in microorganism part 1, the world of microorganism part 1. Typhoid is a bacterial disease. Gonorrhea, diarrhea, tuberculosis. Okay, antibiotics help in curing many bacterial diseases like typhoid, gonorrhea, diarrhea, tuberculosis and prevent infections like septicemia. Not only cure the diseases but also prevent infections like septicemia. Septicemia. Okay. See here. So septicemia, like that infections also we can prevent by these antibiotics. See here. Look at the screen. On the screen, antibiotic injections are there. Here, 3 bottles are there. Like it is penicillin. Okay, it's penicillin injections, right? So please look at the screen. Penicillin injections are there, like antibiotics. And antibiotics also present like capsule manner. So figure number 1 is a vaccine, like injection, and figure number 2, you can get the antibiotics in capsule also. Antibiotic capsules. Okay, antibiotic capsules. Please stay online, all of you. See here. Next, let us discuss about the penicillin antibiotic. So antibiotics also used to control the bacterial diseases in plants and animals. Okay, antibiotics also used to control the bacterial diseases in plants and animals. Okay, this is also used for control of bacterial diseases in plants and animals. See here, here we have to know one thing. We must use antibiotics prescribed by qualified doctor, as I told you just now. Okay, children. Okay, casually you don't take that antibiotics without doctor prescription. We must use antibiotics prescribed by qualified doctor. If you use antibiotics without consulting a qualified doctor, it may harm you. It may harm you. That's why when you need it only, you have to use that also with a doctor's prescription. But nowadays, many members are habituated to take antibiotics simply. So by that, indirectly, you are losing that immunity power. Okay, so indirectly, you are making your body to not to use that immunity power. Simply, you are like making lazy of your immunity power and antibodies. If you use antibiotics, you are taking help of that antibiotics every time. If you not to use, let us antibodies fight with that antigens. Let us antibodies which are present in our body fight. Let them fight. Let them fight with microorganisms. If any critical situation by the doctor prescription, we have to give a support in the form in the name of like antibiotics, in the form of antibiotics. But don't go directly an antibiotic and one another one like addition. So we must use antibiotics prescribed by qualified doctor. If you use antibiotics without consulting a qualified doctor, it may harm you. Unnecessary use of antibiotics affects blood cells. See here, if unnecessarily if you use, that is not good for our health. It's affect the blood cells which fight in infections, which fight against the microorganisms like WBC, white blood cells, granulocytes, agranulocytes, like that. Different types are there now. So if you use unnecessarily that antibiotics, they may affect on blood cells which fight infections. Sometimes they may kill useful bacteria even, because in our intestine, in our intestine, useful bacteria are there which will help in the digestion of food material. Okay, digestion of food materials. So if you use unnecessarily without doctor's prescription, they may kill useful bacteria which are present in your intestine even. They may kill useful bacteria too in our intestine, and this increases the resistance towards antibiotics. Sometimes they may kill useful bacteria too in our intestine, and this increases the resistance towards antibiotics. This increases the resistance towards antibiotics. Excess use of antibiotics weakness the body. Let our antibodies fight with microorganisms. Okay, don't make your antibodies or don't make your body lazy by simply using of that antibiotics like necessarily. When you are prescribed with doctor, then only you can go for that using of antibiotics. Okay, so if you unnecessarily use the water, it's effects also I told you. So maybe I'm expecting from now you are going for avoiding that unnecessary use of antibiotics. Try to make your neighbors who don't know, who doesn't know about that antibiotics, who are using unnecessarily. Try to make them educate. Okay. Next, let us discuss about penicillin, the discovery of the great person discovered the penicillin, which is now very helpful for us using as an antibiotic. See here the great person. Look at the screen. Figure number 3A. Who is that? Dr. Alexander Fleming. Dr. Alexander Fleming. Third A. Figure number 3A. Dr. Alexander Fleming. Figure number 3B. Penicillium species inhibiting bacterial growth in a petri dish. Petri dish is just a dish which is present in middle. The sample is given right side. That figure is given in zoom like uh, perfect view. Penicillium species inhibiting bacterial growth in petri dish. See here, where penicillium is there, that place that is inhibiting that bacterial growth. Bacterial growth. The great person, Dr. Alexander Fleming, was an army doctor actually. Okay, Alexander Fleming was an army doctor in First World War. మొదటి ప్రపంచ యుద్ధం. He observed that many injured soldiers and died. Why? Yes, because of bacterial infection of wounds. At that time, there was no penicillin to inhibit, to stop the bacterial growing, to stop the bacterial infection, not inspection, infection. Bacterial growth and bacterial infection of wounds. So he was an army doctor in First World War. He observed that many soldiers are injured and they died because of a bacterial infection of wounds. He was working on antibiotics in his lab. One day he keenly, perfectly observed that some fungi mold were preventing the growth of bacteria in this petri dish. See here, this is petri dish. This is petri dish. Where that particular penicillin is there, there we can observe inhibition of bacterial growth. So he was working on antibiotics in his lab. One day, he keenly observed that some fungi mold were preventing the growth of bacteria in the petri dish in which he was growing bacterial colonies. Okay, he was growing bacterial colonies for test. At that time, one day he keenly observed that some fungi were prevent that growth. So 1, 2, 3 colonies are good, but the fourth, fifth colonies are not growing well. He keenly observed where not a perfect growth of a bacterial colony. There he had observed fungi. So it means he came to know that oh, fungi is there. So fungi is preventing or fungi is inhibiting the growth of bacteria. So we may use this fungi for inhibition of bacterial growth, bacterial infection. Like that, he got one thing. Okay. Then he separated the substances released by the fungus and tested it on some other diseases causing bacteria. Then he started that discovery. He separated the substances released by the fungus and tested it on some other diseases causing bacteria, whether it is working on that other diseases or not. This substance also killed many other diseases causing bacteria. So by this fungi material will help to inhibit the bacterial growth, and also when he had observed that by using these materials after separation, the substance released by fungus, he tested it on some other diseases causing bacteria. This substance also killed many other diseases causing bacteria, causing bacteria. The mold or fungus, the mold or fungus separated was identified as a Penicillium notatum. Very, very important one. The mold or fungus separated that was identified as a Penicillium notatum. Penicillium notatum. The substance, the substance which was produced by the fungus, the substance which was produced by the fungus, Penicillium notatum, is named as a penicillin. Substance which was produced by the fungus, that penicillium only like changed that name as a penicillin, modified as a penicillin. Penicillium changed as a penicillin. Substances that killed bacteria were generally named as antibiotics by Dr. Fleming. Substances that killed bacteria, substances that killed bacteria were generally named as antibiotics by the great Dr. Fleming. The discovery of the antibiotic, the discovery of antibiotic penicillin was announced in 1929 by Alexander Fleming. In 1945, because of that, which discovery announced in 1929 as a penicillin, in 1945, Alexander Fleming was awarded the Nobel Prize. Alexander Fleming was awarded the Nobel Prize along with other scientists. Along with other scientists. Okay. When he announced that antibiotic as a penicillin, after that he was awarded Nobel Prize along with other scientists. See here, 1929 means like 11 and 5, 16 years. Okay. When he was announced penicillin, after 6 years, he was awarded the Nobel Prize along with other scientists like Dr. Howard Florey, and Dr. Ernest B. Chain, Howard Florey, and Dr. Ernst B. Chain, and Dr. Alexander Fleming. The three persons are awarded the Nobel Prize. The discovery of penicillin, the discovery of penicillin, paved, the discovery of the penicillin antibiotic paved the way to the discovery of many antibiotics. This discovery of penicillin became like a reference path way to the discovery of many antibiotics like streptomycin, erythromycin. Be careful. They may ask in exam. Please name some of antibiotics. Streptomycin and erythromycin and etc. Penicillin is one of the antibiotic. Streptomycin, erythromycin. Next, can our body prevent the diseases without using antibiotics? Can our body prevent the diseases without using antibiotics? Prevents the diseases without using antibiotics. See here, one more person, the great person, Telugu person, Dr. Ella Pragada Subbarao garu. This is a picture of Ella Pragada Subbarao, inventor of iomycin. Inventor of iomycin, tetracycline. Okay, this is the picture of Ella Pragada Subbarao. He was born in West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh state, in India. He discovered iomycin, nothing but tetracycline. Tetracycline, which cures number of bacterial diseases like typhoid, plague, tuberculosis. This plague, typhoid, TB, tuberculosis are very dangerous diseases. Now it became normal disease because the great person, Dr. Ella Pragada Subbarao, who belongs to Godavari, West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh, India, he invented that ariomycin. Okay, it is called ariomycin. That's why tetracycline. That is a tetracycline which cures a number of bacterial diseases like typhoid, plague, TYPHIOD, typhoid, plague, 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 and tuberculosis, TB, tetracycline, ariomycin. Ariomycin, that is tetracycline. Now we have discussed up to now about antibiotics. Here, very very important. What is the difference in between antibiotics and vaccines? Okay. Here, simple thing. Antibiotics also one of the medicines which can cure the diseases. Antibiotics can cure the disease, but vaccine can prevent the disease. Antibiotics will cure the disease. Vaccine can prevent the disease. Okay. Vaccine and antigenic preparation. An antigenic preparation used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against diseases. What is vaccine? It is an antigenic preparation. Antigenic preparation. An antigenic preparation used to stimulate the production of antibodies. Used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity power against diseases. Here we eagerly waiting for that vaccine, corona vaccine. Many companies are trying to get that. So that was started. That is in now third trials. After third trial, that will go for the approval from the central government. So, which here we can make one more question also. Which one is better, vaccine or antibiotic? So you have already prevention is better than cure, right? So prevention is better than cure. After getting the disease, why we have to struggle and why we have to take the antibiotics and all to kill the bacteria or to kill the infections, to prevent, prohibit, to inhibit the infections. If we take vaccine, we can prevent the disease. There is no need of that antibiotics or anything. Okay, so that's why we are giving in the injection manner or drops manner in childhood. We are taking from that like government will arrange the camps, as you know, like a polio adivaram. Okay, here one child is a child consuming polio drops. Okay, to prevent the polio, because vaccine can prevent the disease. Doctor prescribe medicines in the form of tablets, syrups, injections, etc. to have a control on diseases. We are often protected against certain other diseases by vaccination. This protect us from getting the diseases over a long period of time. Often throughout our life, okay, because that stimulate the antibodies, stimulate the antibodies and provide immunity against diseases. That's why that vaccines protect us from getting the diseases over a long period of time, often throughout our life also. You may have heard that children below 5 years must take polio drops. Government will arrange the camps and they will announce that polio adivaram. Okay, you may have heard that children below 5 years must take polio drops. Why? To prevent the polio. Why are polio drops given to the children? What is the purpose of polio drops? Where you given polio drops? when you are a child, when you are a child, do you know about pulse polio program? So you know already. Now the polio Advaram pulse polio program. They will arrange the camps in Gram Panchayat, schools, Anganwadis, like special polio like Sundays, Advaram polio Advaram, like that they will in the days they will arrange that everything, and they will provide that polio drops. Our national objectives is to make a polio free society. Our national objective is to make a polio free society. Of course, before this vaccine, like polio drops, peoples were commonly affected for the polio. So our national objective is to make a polio free society by using these polio drops. So we must not forget to give the polio drops for small children below 5 years. What do they do in this program? Yes, they will give polio drops. The children will consume the polio drops, the way that they can be prevented by the disease like polio. You know that polio is a dangerous disease. Yes, exactly, very dangerous. What could be done to make the polio free society? So, as an educated persons, you have to students have to educate the neighbors, society who doesn't know about this, and try to make children consume the polio drops on that particular polio programs days, like polio advaram, like they will arrange. Try to make consume the children by educating the parents by saying that need of polio drops. If not, what is the problem behind of that? Okay, so please be a part. It's my request, and please be a part to make the polio free society. Discuss in your classroom about polio contamination and its methods of prevention. Write your findings in the following lines. So in next class, I'm expecting you will come up with the discussion on polio with your friends. Now no classrooms, that's why you can discuss with your friends by phone call, or with neighbors about polio contamination and its methods of prevention. Write your findings in the following lines. You have to write roughly in one paper. After that, you just pair that and enter in these lines. Okay, collect a pamphlet or brochure, BROUCHER brochure on pulse polio program, and discuss the points which are mentioned in them. Okay, collect a pamphlet or brochure on pulse polio program, and discuss the points which are mentioned in them. If polio pamphlets are not available, just take Google help and type pamphlet or brochure of a polio program. You can get, and please make it. Okay. Okay. As time up, I'm going to end up the session, and tomorrow let us discuss. Like in next class, let us discuss very interesting facts about the vaccines. Okay. So till that, you just wait. Later we can discuss about that Jonas Salk and Albert Sabin, and some more persons who greatly involved in that making of polio or sorry, vaccines, and to control the diseases, and small facts, Edward Jenner. Okay, so that all. So in next class we can discuss. Okay, and thank you, one and all.
Good morning, students. Good morning. Who is that? Tamkanath? Soya Tamkanath. Okay, fine. Vamshi, Chandana, Sri Satya, Sri Venala. Okay, fine. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Sanvi Learning Services. And in the last session, we have discussed about public health and government, and many topics we have discussed. The like difference between public healthcare center and private center, and private healthcare centers, and like how, like in private, a person visit private hospital or a public like government hospital. That difference we find with an example from the topic. Okay, so I hope you all understood the difference between if a person visit government hospital, 100 rupees enough to spend. When it come to private hospital, if you visit, you have to spend a lot of money. They may suggest you to do many different types of checkups. Okay, fine. This all we have discussed in the last session, and today we are going to discuss about the healthcare and equality, basic public facilities, and the government roles, status of nutrition in Telangana and AP. So these are all the topics we are going to discuss today. So I request you all to get ready with your running note. Okay, students? Yes. Okay, chapter 9, public health and government. So in this healthcare and equality. So that heading itself gives a meaning. So healthcare and equality, equal healthcare should be provided. So that is a meaning. Here in India, we have a situation where private services are increasing, but public services are not. It's absolutely correct. If you see in your village atmosphere, see here surrounding many private hospitals, RMP, okay, rural medical practitioner. So many RMP doctors are there that also work in private sector. And when we visit there, like medicine, the cost of medicines and the treatment, everything high. The private services are mainly concentrated in urban areas. Then moreover, they concentrate on urban areas. It's township, urban area already, rural and urban. So many big private hospitals or private services, health services, we can see in the urban area. As these services are run for profit, the costs are rather high, but the situation in public services at present has changed due to ambulance services of 108, 104. Okay, this all call number. Okay, so when we call immediate, like what we call ambulance services provided, and ambulance numbers 108 reaches in the time to provide first aid in emergency cases, and also provide access by taking the victims or patient for further follow-up medication at nearby health center. Vehicle number 104 is a with health personnel and medicines providing monthly visit to rural areas for health checkups and providing medicine, etc. Okay, these are all the functions they have given. Actually, in this paragraph, what we have to understand is because private health services mainly we can see, and many big private health services we can see, hospitals, in township. And moreover, if we get any emergency, so we may call these ambulance services or ambulance, and we reach it in particular place. Otherwise, mobile health services also provided by these private sectors sometimes. Okay, so mobile health services in this is nothing but even all the medicals, okay, medicines and medical treatment provided by including doctors reaches in your home for treatment. So these are the situation of medical services. And the same way, in fact, barely 20% of the population can afford the cost of medicines that they require during all an illness. So here you see 20% of the population only can afford. What do you mean by affordability? Able to purchase medicines, ability to purchase medicines, because their income able to purchase medicines, generally we call affordability. So 20% of the people only can afford the medicines. So when rest all what, even for those who are not poor, medical expenses cause hardship. It was reported in a study that 40% of people who are admitted to hospital for some illness or injury have to borrow money or sell some of their possessions. What they are telling to pay the expenses. So not a 20% of people cannot afford the medicines. The same time, 40% average family people also, if any circumstances, if a person hospitalized or admitted to hospital for some illness, what happens? They have to collect money from money lenders, or they have to sell their land or something for treatment. That is the situation. So this all lack of proper public health services. Okay, the lack of public health services, many people collect money from money lenders or sell their property and collect money for the treatment. For those who are poor, every illness in the family is a cause for great anxiety and distress. What is worse, such a situation arises again and again. That is this. Because if like even we all getting that sort of tensions, because if a like beginning, many persons got corona disease. So many average and rich people, they opt private hospitals. The expenditure nearly 1 lakh or 1.5 lakh they have to spend for getting medicines. So average or below average families, especially like in rural areas, they have a lot of tension, because if we get any diseases, how can we spend money? Some diseases, like if we get to some sort of diseases, we have to spend lakhs of rupees to cure the diseases. So under that circumstances, they are unable to pay that money. They depends on any money lenders and great debt. So later unable to repay the money. Many people may commit suicide even. Like previously we have discussed about farmers. The same way, medicals or proper medical care also necessary for each and every person in our country. Equality, equal medical. So who should concentrate on this all? Government sector, especially government hospital, public health services should take initiative for this type of avoid this type of situation. The same way, the poor do not have access to basic necessities like drinking water, adequate housing, clean surroundings, etc. Some more problems you see. So in villages, you can see many people drinking without purifying water. There is no proper drinking water facilities and adequate housing or proper home to stay. Many slum area you can see small huts surrounded by your house. So they're all people living and there is no cleanliness around them. Okay, so this all goes for getting different types of diseases and more likely to fall ill. These people, actually, the people who are living in this certain particular area, lack of proper hygiene, lack of proper drinking water, they may get a lot of trouble. These families do not eat as much as they should and are thus undernourished. What is the meaning of undernourished? Please note it down. Having insufficient food cause for getting some diseases. Having insufficient food, generally we call under nourished. Okay, the expenses on illness make their situation even worse, and they may have to sell off some of their possessions, nothing but owing or controlling something. So that they meant here. So here the expenses on illness make their situations even worse, and they may have to sell off some of their possessions, their own land maybe, or anything. So taking an ill person to the hospital mean loss of wages for another person for the day. Okay, the so or for many day if the patient is admitted in the hospital. So average family or below average family situation, you see, if they want to take a person to hospital, if they admitted there, they won't get any wages, especially they are all coolie workers. Wage means coolie. So they are not getting a next day's work and next day's wage. So under that circumstances, they are unable to pay the expenditure. That also one more point. Inequality we can see here. Inequality in the sense like affordability of medicines. Okay, they are unable to purchase the medicines even though they are very poor family and poor family background. They have some job to get their livelihood. So if any person hospitalized, they are unable to get that wages, even they are getting lot of trouble from that. And next year, basic public facilities. What are the basic public facilities provided by the government to the people? See, water is essential for life and good health. Absolutely correct. Due to lack of proper drinking water or hygiene drinking water, many people getting different types of diseases. We need water to meet our daily needs. Safe drinking water can prevent many water related diseases. Like India has one of the largest number of cases of diseases caused by lack of clean water, such as diarrhea and dysentery, and the same way cholera. This type of diseases, please underline what are the diseases we may get from the water, lack of proper drinking water. So here diarrhea and dysentery, cholera, these type of diseases may get. At the same time, if you visit any private hospital, you have to spend a lot of money. Over 1600 Indians, most of them children below the age of 5, reportedly die every day because of water related diseases. So we may not feel that because we are living in a rural area, there we don't have any problem maybe. But when we look at like all our country, many people below 5 years die lack of proper drinking water and due to this type of diseases, it seems. So once you imagine the situation, because we all in developing stage, so we have many facilities, we have many private hospitals around us. So even though people are unable to get treatment in that hospitals, lack of proper income, we can say. So especially poor and average family members, okay, some viral disease like fever and cold, okay, fine, we can purchase 100 or 200 rupees expenditure or 500 rupees expenditure. If it is more than that, they are unable to get medicines. These death can be prevented if people have access to safe drinking water. So one problem they have mentioned here, drinking water, proper drinking water. Like water, there are another essential facilities that needed to be provided for everyone. See what all the necessary things provided by the government or public sector. So here see, one is healthcare, sanitation, electricity, public transport, school are also necessary. These are known as public facilities. You have a question from this part. What do you mean by public facilities? Public facilities, nothing but the facilities which are provided by the government. So here you have healthcare, sanitation, and electricity, public transport, schools. These are the essential things we can say. Okay, these must be provided by the government. Otherwise, many problems, especially water problem, we have discussed. In addition of that, these public facilities also provided by the government. Then only we get that equality, and we can call it all basic public facilities. Okay, fine. Now, see here the important characteristics of public facilities, that once it is provided, its benefit can be shared by many people. It's absolutely correct. Once any of the public facilities provided, it can be shared. It can be shared by, suppose, hospital. A good hospital provided by the government, many people may get treatment from that. Am I right? Yes, if any schools introduced, many children can study in that school and get good education. The same way electricity or whatever it may be. So once if it is provided, a group of people get benefit from that. For instance, so they have given, as school will enable many children to get education. Similarly, the supply of electricity to an area can be useful for many people. Farmers can run pump set to irrigate their field. See, if they get electricity, proper electricity, what all the benefit people have, you see? People can open small workshops that can run by electricity, on electricity. Factories request this for their machines. Students will find easier to study, and most people will benefit some or another way. So see, this all the facility, only one public facility provided by the government, and that public facility also in very effective way. It means effective public facility must be provided by the government. Suppose we have discussed about the government hospital and private hospital cases, because in beginning we have discussed public facilities, so public healthcare center is very less in our country when we compare with private healthcare centers. Okay, so the same way, once if government implement anything, it would be a benefit for many people. Okay, not only that particular person. Suppose an electricity example they have given. How many people benefit from that? We know irrigation facilities, factories, a small industrial sector. Okay, many people benefited from that. And the same way, for this government role they have given, government's role, given that public facilities are so important, someone must take the responsibility of providing this to the people. That is very important. Actually, many public facilities provided by the government, but it won't reach to the people. So one person or one authority or a group of people should work on that responsibility of providing this to the people. This someone is government or government authorities. Electricity department we have, and public facility department we have, environmental department, like that many departments, and water facility department authority. So one of the most important function of the government is to ensure that these public facilities are made available to everyone. That is first case, because whatever provided by the government, it must reach each and every people in the region. Let us try and understand why the government must bear this responsibility. We have seen that private companies operate for profit in the market. In most of the public facilities, there is no profit to be had. For example, what profit can company acquire by keeping the drains clean or running an anti-malaria campaign? A private company will probably not be interested in undertaking such works. So here, without benefit, why government should take initiative for this? Because in private companies, their main aim is to get profit or income. They are not ready to concentrate on these sort of problems which is arised in the villages. So if we give them their main aim, see here in this paragraph, but for other public facilities such as schools and hospitals, private companies may well be interested. If government give to the private companies only these particular, it means like drainage cleanness or proper drinking water facilities, there is no benefit from that. So always public facilities or public enterprises or public person or private persons concentrate on this type of schools and hospital. Good income if they run. Private companies may be well interested. We have many of these facilities, particularly in large cities. Similarly, if you are living in a city, you would have seen private companies supplying drinking water in sealed bottles. So drinking water available in the private sector, but in such cases, private companies provide public facility. See here, private companies also providing public facilities, but at a price that only some people can afford. That is the problem. Okay, here public sector or government providing good healthcare centers, schools, everything. But in addition of that, if government give, so many private schools run under government. Am I right? Affiliated or approved by government. So people ready to accept that. Why? They can collect more fees. Is it, Rishik? What happened, Rishik? Any doubt from you? Yes, Rishik. Yes.
Sir, the middle lessons are there, sir.
Yes.
You not told sixth, seventh, and eighth lesson, sir.
We will discuss that. Don't bother. Okay. Just we will go to that topics. Okay. So here you see, so private sector, we are discussing about private sector. So private sector opt some sort of like activities like schools, education, hospitals, private companies may be interested. Why they interested already we know, because sometimes they are also including public facilities. So actually, you know, water bottle, okay, safe drinking water provided by the private companies. Why in such cases private companies provide public facility high price? The same time many people can't afford. Yes or no? Only some people can afford it. Afford means can purchase. Suppose you know mineral water for 20 rupees. Many people hesitate because below average people or family or the average family, they are not ready to purchase that. They use some other sources. So the same way, many people who cannot afford to pay for such facilities will be deprived of opportunity to live a decent life, deprived, suffering severe. It means not able. Many people who cannot afford to pay for such facilities, we be deprived for opportunity to live a decent life. Decent life in the sense a proper life. Many people we can say he's a decent person, decent life. What is that? All facilities getting on time. But what happens here when private sector or private companies accepted this type of proposal and run under government, many people cannot afford that. So lack of affordability, many people lost their decent life. This is against the constitutional promise for equal opportunities for all and the right to decent life for everyone. So here, according to our constitution, equal right in the sense, especially water, in the case of water, in the case of what we call health services, we have equal right. But when we discuss about these private facilities or private companies, under that circumstances, we cannot say that the constitutional promises are equal opportunity for all the people and the right to decent life for everyone. Okay, so that is the meaning of this particular topic. And here, public facilities related to people basic needs. Any society requires that these facilities are provided so that people basic needs are met. The right to life in the constitution is for all the people. The responsibility to provide public facilities, therefore, must be that of the government. And here, compared to what we spend on armed forces, the expenditure on the health by government is minimal or minimum. India is one of the few countries where people have to spend a large amount of healthcare from their own pocket. And the same way, health expenses are also one of the reasons for people to be trapped in debt that they cannot repay. Both central and state government are responsible for health facilities. In the diagram on the next page, you have a diagram what all the health facilities provided by the government. Here in this paragraph, what we have to understand is any society required that these facilities are provided so that people basic needs are met. That is their meaning. But the responsibility to provide public facilities, therefore, must be that of the government. So here you see private or government, whatever it may be, but these facilities should be reached to the people. That is the responsibility of government. Okay, the same way, even they have given a small example compared to what we spend on armed forces. You know what is armed forces? Like central government force, which is help us to that stands for protect us from enemies. Even they are getting like expenditure on health by government is very minimum, it seems. It means India government is not getting proper income for giving best health services to the public. That we have to understand from that paragraph, because their income is not able to meet this all expenditure. Okay, so the same way India is one of the few countries where people have to spend a large amount of healthcare from their own pocket. That is one more factor. When we compare entire world, our country, you can see that many people spend lakhs of rupees from their pocket, own money for their healthcare. There is no proper healthcare centers. That may be the reason. Health expenses are also one of the reasons for people to be trapped in debt. Nothing but they are collecting money from different sources like money lenders, banks, or they are selling their property and collecting money. So that money later they are unable to repay. So under that circumstances, they are in great debt. They are unable to repay the money. Okay, if we collect money from money lenders, we have to give more interest. So they are unable to repay that additional amount to the government. So not government, to the money lender. So under that circumstances, they are in great debt, we can say. Both central and state government are responsible for health facilities. It's absolutely correct. In conclusion, they have clearly given. So central and state government, we have to take an example for all other countries, how they are providing health facilities to the people. Okay, once if you have a good health, beginning have told you health is a wealth. So if you have good health, then country may develop automatically. Your village, your state, your country develops. So here what still we are in developing stage because of this, maybe because there is no proper health facility. All sectors, when we see other sectors, some sort of development we can see. But when it comes to health facilities, beginning you have discussed 20-40% of the people in our country unable to afford the medicines or unable to get proper medical care, it seems. That is the condition of our country. Under that circumstances where we are, how can we develop the nation, and India still remain what we call developing stage, we can say. Am I right? The same way status of nutrition in Telangana and AP, nutritious status or nutritious food, affordability of food or accessibility of food, we can discuss here. Adequate food, safe drinking water, proper sanitation and prevention measures are basic to the health living environment. Very, very important. What all the factors come under that? Adequate food, safe drinking water, proper sanitation and prevention of diseases or measure are basic to a healthy living environment or healthy atmosphere, we can say. Healthcare doesn't mean only treating diseases but ensuring the provision of these basic needs or availability, we can say. Okay, healthcare doesn't mean treatment, giving treatment to the people. Prevention is better than cure. Once if we get adequate food, proper food, all nutritious food, safe drinking water, proper cleanliness, hygiene, and prevention of different diseases, then no need this many healthcare centers. Am I right? Yes. But here it is not available. Yes. Are we able to do this? Let us examine the situation. Recent studies indicate that the level of nutrition of people in our country is alarming now. Alarmingly, a usage you can see. Because it's a sound. Because what we have to say here, proper recent studies, what they say is nutrition of the people in our country is not up to that range. A large section of the population is living their life in a way that it may not be noticed that these people are undernourished all the time. What do you mean by undernourished? Undernourished, nothing but having insufficient food. Okay, lakhs of people. Poverty may be the main reason. Unemployment, proper education, many facts we can say. These conditions arise even though we have enough stock of food grains to feed everyone. There is no food stock. These people don't have the purchasing capacity or affordability to buy enough food for their family. We know of this serious situation through nutrition studies carried out across the country. Nutritious food. Dear students, lack of nutritious food, lakhs of people. Death cases are there. And the same time, many other issues related to the livelihood we can see in our society. Because many people suffering a lot. You may think only about your family. I can purchase. Even though if you check your family, many things you are unable to purchase. Do you have proper menu? Are you having all sort of nutritious food? No. Your immunity system, once you check, some people may get immediately, like many diseases, viral diseases quickly, lack of proper nutritious food. Many disabilities we can see in our society. And moreover, when we look around, we can see many people, especially in slum or other areas, many people living without getting proper nutritious food. Our system is what available, we will have that. What is not available, we won't bother about that. That is the present situation. Even in Telangana or AP, whatever it may be, you can see only rice and curry. That is our food. Many people not opting any other nutritious food. Dry foods, vegetables, all sort of fruits. Okay, so these all come under this nutritious food. Nutritious food doesn't mean only like what we call giving all nutritious, because food in the sense, only one thing we know, only food in the sense fill the stomach, when food only for overcome our hungry, that we may feel, but it is absolutely wrong. We have to get all sort of nutritious food, then only we have a proper health condition. Yes, see, all of us require some fat in our body to remain healthy, to provide the source of energy for our activities and to protect ourselves from infections. People who are undernourished, what is the meaning of undernourished? Again, having insufficient food, undernourished, not eating adequately, are not able to build the minimum fat requirement from their food for normal activity. Okay, lack of proper nutritious food. Many people unable to do their daily activity, feeling sick. They may they may not be ill. They are not ill, but will often feel weak, tiredness. Okay, likely to fall ill easily. That feeling because of undernourished or proper nutritious food. This situation can be overcome by adequate food and not by any special medicines. Yes, it is like a situation in invisible starvation. What do you mean by starvation? Suffering or death caused by lack of food. Okay, suffering from lack of food, or it may cause for death. Starvation. They do get food to eat, but less than what is required. Therefore, their starvation is not visible. Yes. Okay, this is the condition of our country. Under that circumstances, how can we say that we have proper health condition? And whose responsibility this all? Government responsibility. And moreover, people affordability. It means their standard of living all depends on this. Job opportunities, education. Okay, what we get, we eat. That situation we have now. Even in your family or in your neighborhood, we can see that what available in the market, they purchase that and have. There is no other opportunity. There is no other option to get any nutritious. We won't think about nutritious food and all. Whatever available. Hungry. How can we overcome hungry? Rice and curry. Enough. That's it. We won't bother about nutritious food. Let us examine the situation through the AP Human Development Report. Okay, Andhra Pradesh Human Development Report 2007, meant for Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, which states freedom from hunger and malnutrition. What is a malnutrition? Nothing but lack of proper nutrition. We call malnutrition. Lack of proper nutritious food, generally we call malnutrition. Is a basic human right and a fundamental prerequisite for human and national development, or precaution we can say. Better nutrition means stronger immunity system, less illness and better health. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, who we can say poor nutrition countries to 1 out of second 2 deaths, 53%, associated with infectious diseases among children below 5 in developing countries. Developing countries situation below 5 years, many people like death cases they have find in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. About 33% of the children below 5 years of age were characterized as underweight. What is underweight? When we see their age, their weight may be very less, we can say below weight, very lean, lack of proper nutritious food, we can say. About 31% of the women and 25% of men undernourished. What do you mean by undernourished? Having insufficient food. This is the situation of Telangana and AP. In this category, you may include, or your neighborhood people may include. Let me remind you again, you have a proper menu. You have affordability or availability of all sort of food items in your menu. Proper nutritious food. Not only rice and curry or rice and dal, all sort of food items should be added or must be added in our proper diet. Then only we get this. Otherwise, we won't get that what we call proper health. It leads to get many different types of diseases, and it causes for even death. Okay, children. Yes, finally here you have that chart. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. What are the points they are concentrating? See, Department of Health and Family Welfare takes care of the national level programs for disease control, hospital and dispensaries and medical education. So these are all the main first function. And next is Department of Ayush, looks after local system of medicine such as Ayurveda, homeopathy, Unani, Siddha and research in them. That is Ayush, Ayurvedic. Okay, these all Ayurvedic sector. And next is a Department of Health Research. It concerned with research in medical and health services. Next, Department of AIDS Control takes up programs for prevention and control of AIDS. That is HIV, human immunodeficiency virus or human immunovirus. Okay, this chart is very important. Ministry, the function of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. 4 things we have discussed. Department of Health and Family Welfare. What it take care of national level programs for disease control, hospital, dispensaries and medical education. So next coming to Department of Ayush, looks after local system of medicine such as Ayurveda, homeopathy and Unani, Siddha, etc. And the same way Department of Health Research is concerned with research in medical and health activities, research, production of medicines, everything come under that. Next is Department of AIDS Control. It takes programs for prevention and control of AIDS or acute immunodeficiency virus. Okay, so this all today students, and this is the end of this chapter. And next class I will explain you the question and answers, and you can start CW work today itself. Okay, write the chapter heading and keywords. Already I have given you some keywords that also can be written. Then after, just wait next class before we go to the next topic. Let us quick check all the question answers. Then after you can write the question and answer. I hope you all know the procedure of CW. There is no any new students, I think. Yes or no? Why all are very serious? Please keep a smile on your face. Very good. Okay, fine. Huh? Be cool. Okay, so complete CW on time. Okay, we are going little hurry because we have to complete total chapter within short time. Okay, continuation we have in the next academic year. So we must complete our topics. I hope everyone fine. Yes, Amatul. Okay, tell me, Amatul. Yes, if you have anything, you can speak now. Yes, Amatul. Unmute and speak.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Unmute. Quickly, unmute and speak, Amatul. Yes, yeah, good
Yes,
morning.
sir. Sir,
Yes,
when
tell
you
me.
will explain when you will explain 6th and 7th
Yes.
lesson then?
I can't get you.
Sir, when you will explain me 6th and 7th lesson?
Dear students, I will cover all the topics. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So we have a plan. We have
Yes, sir,
a
no problem,
plan.
sir.
One geography, history, economics, civics, like that, different like parts. So according to that, we will cover all. Don't bother about like one thing. Let me remind you, some lessons already removed from the topic. You all know that. Still, I didn't give you how many lessons removed because we must learn all the topic. Okay, there is no exclusion. So only for exam they have excluded. But these topics you must know. Then only you can learn. You can understand topics in the next academic year. So there is no removal in teaching. So I will explain everything. Okay, Amatul, don't bother about that. The same question repeated. One more student asked me. Is it so? We will cover all the topics. Okay, don't worry or bother about that. Okay, coming days we will discuss that all. And only your work is to complete CW on time and reading concepts, writing summary or short notes. This all, and in your like already you have a homework book or running note with you. I think that in that running note you please read the topic and write all the important term which is related to the topic. Okay, fine. So that is your work. Okay, completion of syllabus is in my hand. So completion of CW and study is in your hand. Okay, fine. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Okay, students, that's all for today.